Guns! Everybody's got one, a story about one, or an opinion loud enough to scare the squirrels. Today we're roasting the whole dang lineup. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, even bows. No tactical fluff, just bad jokes and more truth than your uncle can handle. So crack a cold one and let's see which gun cries first. Starting off with, of course, pistols. They really are the gun world's version of that basic latte everybody orders. Everybody's got one and everybody thinks theirs is the best blend. These short-barreled little ego boosters slide under hoodies and into glove boxes faster than your last situationship slid into scene. Folks love flaunting them online too. Hit TikTok and you'll find endless videos of people mag dumping at 5 feet, cut to some hyper-edited 808 bass drop, all captioned EDC vibes skull emoji. Meanwhile, half these people couldn't clear a stovepipe malfunction if it came with instructions. Glock owners, they strut around puffing up like roosters at a county fair, swearing up and down they discovered the secret formula to reliability. Beretta guys are still stuck in the golden age of 90s action flicks, proud of carrying around a gun chunkier than your cholesterol numbers. Then you got Sig Sauer crowd, spending $9 on a fancy two-tone with a flat trigger, acting like it automatically makes them John Wick on a training day. The truth is, all these pistols go bang if you do your part, but boy, the brand loyalty arguments, odder than a Facebook thread on who makes the best Texas barbecue. Then you got the eternal 9mm versus 45 caliber crowd. The 9mm fanboys rattle off gel test stats and post slow-mo ballistic gelatin videos like they're reviewing skincare products. Meanwhile, these 45 guys lean on tired old stopping power sermons, clinging to that 1911 with arthritic knuckles, swearing they're ready to take on a fueled rhino. The truth? Well, the truth is, modern hollow points out of a 9mm do plenty fine, but try telling that to a guy whose belt buckle weighs more than your first apartment deposit. And the concealed carry flexers, don't even get me started. Half their Instagram is mirror selfies in a truck, pistol halfway flashed out of their waistband, posting hashtag pew pew life while they probably flinch at the range harder than a teenager's heart rate when their crush texts back K. Still, you gotta admit, pistols earn their keep. They're compact, they're quick, and plenty of modern ones are striker fired, so they're simple sin. And with the right hollow points, they'll end a bad guy's day just fine, even if 90% of their owners mostly use them to scare aluminum cans and fill your feed with cringe. But on to rifles. Now that's where the gun nerds come crawling out of the woodwork, smelling faintly of hops number 9 and unresolved father issues. Yeah, I'm talking about myself here. Bolt action boys, they're basically the cottagecore crowd of shooters, spending an hour cooing over hand loads, taking photos of their groupings like influencers posing with avocado toast, scribbling little notes about velocity and wind drift in notebooks stained with campfire coffee. They'll stand there next to a wooden fence with a dreamy far-off look, whispering to themselves about minute of angle, totally unbothered by the world till you mess with their scope, and then it's on. And then let's move to the semi-auto folks. Man, these are the cosplay crowd. Show up to a gravel pit with enough gear to retake Fallujah, decked out in multi-cam plate carriers, helmeted mounts with GoPros they'll never edit footage from, and gloves that cost more than your gas bill. And they're here to shoot soda cans. That's it. Every new AR platform in 2025 is lighter. Got a fancy hybrid barrel to cut down on heat, and an adjustable gas system so you can tweak it more than your last situation tweaked your heart. And top that off with smart optics that measure everything short of your Tinder compatibility. Then there's the AR guy's love affair with attachments. They'll bolt on sights, lights, lasers, bipods, vertical grips, offset irons, thermal optics, all up until that poor gun is heavier than the emotional baggage they keep from sophomore year. You ever see someone post their rig with a caption, "Just under 12 pounds, slick setup, bro"? Sure, buddy, maybe you're training for the tactical CrossFit games, and you know what, don't even get me started on them optics. Some of these dudes have $2,000 worth of glass on a $400 lower, can't even zero the thing, and then blame the ammo. That right there is a rifle world's biggest red flag. If your optic costs more than your truck payment and you're still missing silhouettes at 50, maybe just skip your next Magpul haul and buy a fundamentals class. Now on to the rifle's cousin, the hunting rifle. They're heirloom guns Grandpappy passed down so he wouldn't have to fill out estate paperwork. These old bolt-action tanks are beat up, scratched, and probably older than your mom's mixtape collection, but boy do they still sling lead mighty true. Built to take a beating in the back of a farm truck, rattle around with tools, get rained on, drag through the brush, and still go boom come deer season. Thing is, some of these old relics are heavier than your ex's emotional damage. You haul it up a ridge, wheezing worse than a vape addict, but by golly, it'll drop a buck dead at 200. But modern hunter rifles? Different beasts. They come with corrosion-resistant coating, synthetic stocks that can take a beating, threaded muzzles for cans. Digital range-finding optics have gotten wild in 2025. You tap a button, your scope does the math, pings your holdover, probably even tweets your shot group to your followers. Also, you can post ethical harvest heart emoji selfies while standing over a smeared camo suit, caption longer than your deer's remaining life expectancy. Sorry, that one was real personal.
What?
Meanwhile, your vegan cousins on Instagram storying their protein smoothie with oat milk. Balance, I reckon. Yeah. And the double barrel types always smell faintly of old leather, red man chew, and divorce paperwork. You can't really tell if their hat's sweat stained from years of honest work or just emotional distress. Then you got the pump action boys out there nervously racking shells because they wanted an AR, but their wallet said no. They'll swear up and down they dropped 2 deer with 1 shot once, while the rest of us just nod and smile like, sure, buddy. That's totally believable. Oh man, machine guns. These things are like the fever dream of everybody who's got already 3 speeding tickets and thinks the Alphabet Boys are coming for his precious stash any day now. If the NFA disappeared tomorrow, he'd be the first in line, credit card smoking, ready to buy a full crate of ammo before realizing ammo costs more than therapy. More like fully broke, because burning through a few hundred rounds in under 10 seconds costs roughly the same as this week's groceries. Meanwhile, he'll post grainy videos of him absolutely obliterating the dirt berm behind his cousin's barn, captioned, freedom. Ain't hit a target yet, but boy, that dust sure is scared. Then you got the light machine gun types who strut around the range wearing tactical suspenders. They got dump pouches bigger than their actual mortgage. They'll lug that chunky hardware 10 yards to the bench, red in the face, and they need to sit down because that's all the cardio they've done since high school gym. They will run through ammo, grin like a possum eating corn, and spend the next hour walking back to the truck for more ammo, huffing and complaining about their lower back. And these modern tactical fellas, they're always bragging about recoil mitigation systems, exotic buffer weights, and proprietary springs, next level brakes, that whole dog and pony show. Then they shoulder up, rip off a burst, and somehow still miss a barn that's literally wearing a neon TikTok logo. Meanwhile, they're nodding to their buddy like, feel real flat, right? Sure, bud, flatter than your dating app match rate. But hey, bless them. The rest of us just enjoy the fireworks show from a safe distance. Now, we can't talk guns without talking about the absolute king of intimidation theater, the pump shotgun. That ch-ch noise is basically the gun world's universal language for you done messed up. Folks love showing off their pump shotguns more than their kids' honor roll stickers. They'll stand there racking shells back and forth like they're cranking up a lawnmower that ain't quite catching, just hoping somebody's watching. Meanwhile, their 90s Ford tailgate still needs 2 good slams to close right, but, you know, priorities, yeah? These scattergun warriors are the same folks who brag all day about how simple and foolproof a shotgun is, then absolutely fall apart if they gotta load more than 2 shells under pressure. You ever watch somebody try to top off a tube while hyperventilating? It's more awkward than their last situationship. And the new shell choices in 2025 is wild stuff. You got reduced recoil home defense loads, frangible rounds that barely dent drywall, dragon's breath that looks real cool on YouTube, but probably scares your homeowner's insurance rep worse than your tattoo sleeve. Also, gotta poke fun at the 12-gauge home defense crowd. They'll pat their scattergun all smug, talking about knockdown power, like they're quoting folklore. Then they fire around and wonder why their walls now got a brand new window into Karen's living room next door. Hope she enjoys her sudden open concept remodel. So sure, keep that pump handy for some home invaders, but maybe still also keep your local drywall guy on speed dial. Oh, the wheel gun, the crown jewel of dudes who still rock flip phones and brag about not trusting them fancy magazines. They'll sit back on a porch with a big old iced tea, tell you all about how their granddaddy carried a revolver and didn't need none of these polymer contraptions with striker chingamajigs. They'll puff their chest out and declare that revolvers don't jam, and then they open that squeaky cylinder like they're showing off a rare family heirloom. These fellas wax poetic about 357 stopping power like it's gospel handed down at the mountaintop. But if you ask them the last time they actually shot more than a handful of rounds, it's probably somewhere back when Obama was still handing out hope posters. They'll run 6 shots, nod sagely, talk about groupings that may or may not exist, and then tuck it back in the safe next to mothballs and unopened mail. Let's be real here, nothing screams nostalgia power hour quite like watching a guy reload with a speed strip while a Glock bro 3 lanes down just cleared 3 hypothetical rooms and posted the video to his stories before you've even closed that swing-out cylinder. Revolvers are cool as hell though, don't get me wrong. They're simple, durable, and classy in a way that most modern pistols just ain't. They're also kinda like your grandpa's old pickup. Dependable, full of character, and probably not the best pick for a cross-country road trip without a little extra TLC. Still, hard to hate them. They've earned their stubborn old man rep, slow reloads and all. Now, sniper rifles, oh boy, that is the realm of the lonely, detail-obsessed hermits of the shooting world. These fellas right here spend more on Kestrel wind meters and ballistic calculators than most people cough up for rent, just so they can still miss by 3 inches and mutter something about the Coriolis effect like they're teaching a community college earth science class. They'll hike themselves up to a ridge, belly down in the dirt, get all philosophical with their spotting scope while the rest of their crew's breaching doors 2 clicks over and actually clearing buildings. Meanwhile, the bolt-action crowd's out here scribbling their dope books like teenage poets. Dear Diary, today I sent a 6.5 Creedmoor whisper into the sunset. It was super dreamy. #blessed. These are the same fellas who treat barrel break-in procedures with more ceremony than a courthouse wedding. They'll shoot 3 rounds, clear the bore, shoot 3 more, clean again, all while reciting velocity prayers under their breath. But hey, modern sniper rigs in 2025 are so over the top they basically come with their own hype man. Carbon-wrapped barrels? Check. Muzzle brakes so effective they make your grandpa's recliner jealous? Check. Scopes that calculate wind, humidity, and probably your ex's emotional instability? Triple check. Some of these things even Bluetooth your shot group to your phone so you can post it before your coffee even cools. And that right there is peak main character energy, even if the only thing in your sights is a paper target and your fragile sense of superiority. And then we got submachine guns, which are basically ADHD with a trigger. These little bullet blenders are technically designed for close quarter sweeps, but nowadays they mostly show up in $3,000 YouTube slow-mos with some cringe dubstep track laying underneath. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Dude in a multicam mag dumps into a cardboard torso at 8 feet, smoke everywhere, and hits a Fortnite dance. Half the comments are just keyboard warriors yelling, "Operator AF," while his groupings look like he used a paintball marker. Plenty of these guys picked up a sub gun just to LARP Rainbow Six in their backyard, peeking corners in the garden shed, doing pie slices on that plastic flamingo your wife begged you to throw out last summer. When they're not pretending it's CQB time, they're mag dumping steel plates while looking back at the grill to see if it's watching. Don't worry, that grill is real impressed. And have you ever scoped out one of these rigs? Half of them are more accessorized than a VSCO girl's phone case. Rail systems stacked with more attachments than your last situationship had emotional baggage. Stubby vertical grips, optic stacks that confuse a space telescope, and 6 different kinds of flashlight mounts in case the target's trying to hide in a dark joke. Hey, gotta respect the effort at least. Just hope they brought enough cash for ammo after spending half their paycheck on doodads they'll never zero. Now, we're gonna ease it back to air rifles, a true starter kit for backyard snipers and every 14-year-old who swears they're gonna learn the fundamentals by ventilating milk jugs. They'll line up tin cans, squint through budget scope, and run inside and post grainy footage on Discord bragging about how they're dialed in. Sure, champ, the milk jug community is shaking in its boots. But it ain't just kids. Grown men with entire basements dedicated to little pellet tins stand around puffing their chests over group tightness pics like gym bros flexing arm veins and truck mirrors. These guys will upload side-by-side shots on forums, all proud of a half-inch cluster at 30 yards, captioned with more exclamation points than your aunt's Facebook chain letters. Then there's that one guy at every backyard smoker who's gonna corner you and start jabbering about his PCP air rifle pressure regulator like it's the highlight of the dang cookout. Bro, I got my tank set at 2800 PSI with a micro reg that levels out the pressure curve. And you just nod polite, hoping he shuts up so you can go refill your red Solo cup. Real talk though, bragging about an air rifle reg is social suicide faster than showing folks your meme stock portfolio. I will say though, it's hard to deny these little shooters are cheap, quiet, and fun. Just maybe keep your pellet flex to the forum where it belongs. And finally, we got bow and arrow. The oldest range tool still going strong. Nothing else lets you cosplay Robin Hood while your scent blocker fails miserably and a whitetail busts you from 50 yards. Tail flagging your heartbreak to the entire forest. You'll be sitting there in your leafy suit, smelling like cedar chips and crushed dreams, wondering why the deer's already halfway back to the neighbor's alfalfa field. Those compound guys are their own breed of spreadsheet warriors, rattling off let-off percentages and arrow FOC numbers with the same breathless excitement crypto bros talk about staking protocols. They'll say stuff like, 85% let-off, bro, you can hold full draw forever, while your arms are screaming after 6 seconds and your arrow's still catching wind drift like a birthday balloon. Then there's the trad archery hipsters with their recurves, the one who brag that they're keeping it pure, shooting bare bow, no stabilizers, calling everyone else sellouts. But these jabronis right here look like they just walked off a set of a Renaissance fair talking about feather spines and handmade strings, probably planning to churn their own butter later. I gotta admit though, it's all jokes. There's a real charm watching somebody thunk a recurve shot clean through a target. It makes you want to stand up and slow clap, then roll your eyes when they post a grainy story captioned #TradLife. Well, shoot, that was a whole lot of roasting packed into one video. Enough to make your favorite gun want to hide in the safe till next deer season. If you're feeling didn't get bruised, you probably weren't paying attention. So do old Buck a solid. Smash that like button harder than a pump shotgun racks a shell. Drop a comment telling me which gun I should roast or rant about next. And hit subscribe so you don't miss out on more backyard wisdom. Keep your groups tight and your memes slightly feral. Catch you next round.